Now, moving on to other basic stuff, comparisons in Python are kind of similar to C++. So if I have two variables, I and j, I can check one is greater than equal, or different. And so in all the variations. And so that can be used to use that into conditional codes, right? And so one can write an expression that might be having a true or false value. So let's say that now I go back to the code. I say I equal 1, j equal 2, right? And so now I can write a Boolean expression, and second, go in the code. Just let me type it directly. So if I say I is smaller than j, and I equal to 1. So this is writing an expression, and say check first if I is smaller than j, and that's true, 1 and 2, and also check whether I is equal to 1. Obviously, you can do all the variations you want, and this can be false. You can also use the not operator. So if I do not I equal 2 is true, and if I do not equal 1 is false. We can also do the typical conditional with the or, and so I can say I equal 2 or j equal 1. And so now those are both false, so obviously return false. But let's say one of them is equal to 2, I equal to j equal 2, and that becomes a true value. And so as usual, this becomes the foundation of conditional statements. And so, for example, if I take a few values A, B, C like this, I can write conditional statements and get the proper value here. So this is not, I mean, worth the time of typing it, everything. But you can see you have three variables. You start composing the conditional statements, and then depending on the output, you have three possible results. If you have a loop, you can do a repeated execution based on the true value of a test function. Let's say you have n equals 0, and then you do a while loop n smaller than 5. You can do print n and then increment n. So this keep reevaluating the loop. And so as you get the result, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. As soon as this test become false, so n is equal 5, so it's not smaller than 5, the test fails, and then you get outside of the loop. Now, in for statements, there is a difference, an important difference with respect to C++, and in particular is that instead of having a sequence of expressions that get evaluated, you need to provide as a sequence, as a list, or some other form of sequence or an array, directly the values that you want to use. So this is the form variable in range is a way to build the sequence on the fly. So if you say range 5 is really going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. I'm sorry, 0, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, so as I express here. And then you can start adding things, and then you type the value and see the value at the end. So the loop is executed, but you need to have upfront the list of value. And this range function is kind of a utility function that lets you build those when you have the typical iteration from a list of integers, but this could be any list of any values that you're interested in. So you know in advance, in some sense, how long this loop is going to be. So the range function can have also start and end value and even the stepping. So this is kind of to reproduce what we have seen in C++, but kind of restricted to integers. And this simplified the syntax of the for loop. Here a couple of examples. You do I in the range from 7 to 10, but you go through every element. Kind of the stepping is 1, or you do 1 to 5, but then you step 3. So this executed just twice, 1 and 4, as you see. So there is kind of all kind of variations, but the for loops are kind of very simple. And as you notice, the indentation says what instructions are inside of the loop. Now, to conclude, the break statements allow to stop the iteration even if you're not finished. For example, here we could put an if statement and show how to get out of the loop before you go through the iteration. So here, for example, I could say if I greater than a break, and so that will get out and now finish the computation, the skip the final part of the loop. So this concludes this presentation, again acknowledging the source of some of the material. And then in the next class, we look at more advanced features of the